Hello, everybody. Welcome back. It's Cape Rugby TV. It's great to have you along. Wow. Big thanks, of course, before we get the ball rolling, big thanks, of course, to our partners on board with us. MChem 24-hour pharmacy down on the corner of N1 and Durbal Road. We're going to talk about that a little bit later during the course of the show. Score energy drinks. There you can see Score on my shirt here. Score energy drinks. You can win yourself a case of Score. Thorburn behind me there. So you can win yourself a case of Score during the course of the show. They're, of course, on board with Western Province Rugby and the Western Province Club Rugby Sevens. And Thorburn, as I said, Thorburn special security solutions, and they do sports sponsorship, and they do various event management. And in fact, Thorbur's on board with you guys. Faisal Felton, welcome back.
Good evening, JP. Evening, listeners.
Yeah.
Yes, no, Thorburn is, like I said initially, we thought Thorburn is security, but they do a lot more than just security events, as you mentioned. So, I'm learning a lot.
Yeah, I believe that they did catering for your women's rugby squad.
No, definitely. I think, JP, we've got obviously a meeting set up with them, and we want to bring them more involved, more on board with regards to club rugby. So I think from our side, definitely looking forward to that partnership. I
like the idea that your high performance athletes are getting these pre-training meals. It's very, very, very scientific. Jerome Parvater, welcome back, meneer.
Yeah, lucky to be back, JP, and it was really nice Saturday to be out there. Go watch club rugby again.
Well, Jerome, you'll be happy to know that you've got lots of rugby to look at tonight. We're going to take a look at Noordlikers against Van der Stel. Helderberg played against Collegians. All Saints played against Vineyards. Hamilton's played against NTK. And Falls played against SK Warmers. Folks, so we've got like 6 games that came in from you, from the clubs, for us to take a look at. And, of course, big thanks to all of the clubs that sent their videos into us. We're super grateful. Faisal, it's a promotion league at the moment. It's systems go now.
Yeah, I think this past weekend was an exciting weekend. I think it's a matter of, the guys playing against teams in other divisions. So, yeah, I think it was an exciting weekend.
Let's take a look at the highlights. The following features brought to you by Score Energy Drinks, MChem 24-hour pharmacy, and Thorburn Security Solutions. This feature was brought to you by MChem 24-hour pharmacy, Score Energy Drinks, and Thorburn Security Solutions. Right, folks, that was, of course, the first half there, Noordlikers against Van der Stel. Jerome, halftime score there, Van der Stel leading 25 points to 10. They're, of course, very confident at the moment, considering that they ended up number 1 in the Northern League.
Yeah, I mean, it looks like they've got a just watching this game, you can see they've got a big pack up forward. So in the first half, they were dominating the pack, and I think that's the reason why I think in this competition, if you have a pack like this, you will obviously beat your opponent. So yeah, this with what I've seen there is it's not going to be easy to stop them.
Well, that's the first half score. 25-10, Van der Stel leading in the first half. Let's take a look at the second half. The following features brought to you by Score Energy Drinks, MChem 24-Hour Pharmacy, and Thorburn Security Solutions. This feature was brought to you by MChem 24-Hour Pharmacy, Score Energy Drinks, and Thorburn Security Solutions. Right, folks, there we go. Van der Stel then 39 points to 25. Faisal, well, it looks like Noordelijk has bounced back a little bit there, but you've got two strong teams there now going head-to-head. This was part of your promotion league a picture, is getting the best from the different leagues up against each other.
No, definitely. I think, as you can see, it's strength versus strength. It's very undecided in terms of who's who. It's again back to square one in terms of determining the teams that's playing in the league. So yeah, I think it's an interesting 10 weeks ahead.
it's going to be it's interesting to see that already some of the clubs are starting to put their stamp to say this is who we are. But it's a long way to go, and you might have been strong in one league and now you're playing against another league. You don't know what's coming.
No, definitely. I think, JP, the one key thing is having to pick yourself up, and in terms of the teams that, like you say, were successful in the first round, played against other teams, and now having to find yourself. And the thing is, the question is always about the next 2 weeks, having to pick up as quick as possible and not let it fall out of hand, and you find yourself sitting at the bottom of the log.
Yeah, so we've got a bit of a distance to travel. Folks, let's quickly take a look then at the log, the promotion league log, to show you where we're standing at the moment. So Hamadias didn't waste much time there. They're straight to number one on the log, although at the moment it's only on points difference though. As you said, there's still a way to go. It's only points difference at the moment. Hamadias sitting at number one, Van der Stel sitting at number two.
Yeah, again, JP, I think the thing is now you're finding guys to see how they travel. In the first round, you had teams that were sort of positioned in the area. Yeah. Now you're having to find that you're playing against communities outside of that particular area. So yeah, it's interesting.
So let's, folks, we'll take an ad break. When we come back from the break, we're going to take a look at the match between Helderberg and Collegians, but we are also going to bring you some of the results from the promotion league, and then we'll take another look at the logs. So don't go away. We'll be back in a sec. Welcome back, everybody. Right, Cape Rugby TV here with you every Wednesday night, and we take a look at what's happening in the world of West Bromwich Club Rugby. Just before the break, we took a look at the match between Northerns and Van der Stel. This is, of course, in the Promotion League. Let's take a look at some of the other results also that came in on the weekend. Blake's played against Massey Phumelele. Blake's, of course, ended up number 2 in the Northern League. Massey number 2 in the City League. Blake's then beating Massey Phumelele 24 points to 7. And then, as you saw that match, Van der Stel 39-22 over Northerners. So some of the lines have been drawn quite early now. As we said, let's quickly take a look at the logs. Hamadiers sitting at number 1 so far, Van der Stel, then followed by Blake's, Violets, Solarians, and Atlantis. Well, of course, some of those teams still have to get on the cards. So we know that Atlantis, for example, still has to play. So there's still a bit of a distance to go there. Let's move now to Super League B, where Helderberg were up against Collegians over the weekend. The following features brought to you by Score Energy Drinks, MChem 24-Hour Pharmacy, and Thorburn Security Solutions. This feature was brought to you by MChem 24-Hour Pharmacy, Score Energy Drinks, and Thorburn Security Solutions. Right, there we go, folks. First half then, Helderberg leading 13 points to 3. Big thanks, of course, to Fernando Favias, who, again, in the Helderberg region, has sent us some fantastic footage. Really nice to see such good quality. Jerome, Paarwater, Helderberg leading 13-3. Your thoughts?
Yeah, look, it's... I think the first half it's pretty even. I think the difference between the two sides is if Helderberg get into Collegians 22, they converted that into points. They either take the 3 points, I see the 2 penalties which they kick for poles, and the one was just bad defense from Collegians. I mean, that wing should have never let that wing just pass him so easy, where they scored a try. And Collegians have opportunities, but they couldn't convert that into tries. So it's pretty even that first half.
Faisal, still a couple of games to go in Super League B before we actually know who's top and bottom and making it into the top 6.
No, definitely. I think, the guys are sort of, fitting in terms of whether it's the top 6 or whether it's the bottom half.
Yeah.
The guys at the bottom are fighting for survival. The guys in the middle still have a chance. The thing is, The great thing about the league is that anybody can still become the champion. You know, the top 6, number 6 still has a chance. So exciting times
So
ahead.
it's all about the top 6, isn't it?
I think a lot of with some of the teams that that's here at the bottom, no game is easy. Even the guy at the bottom that's fighting for survival, he's going to come out fighting on the day, and he's going to give you a run for your money. So club rugby, it's very unpredictable.
Yeah. Well, let's take a look and see if Collegians bounces back. Let's take a look at the second half. They, of course, Collegians travelled to Helderberg to play there at the Morkel Stadium. The following feature is brought to you by Score Energy Drinks, MChem 24-Hour Pharmacy, and Thorburn Security Solutions. This feature was brought to you by MChem 24-Hour Pharmacy, Score Energy Drinks, and Thorburn Security Solutions. Right, folks, nice to have you back. Full-time score then, Helderberg beating Collegians 30 points to 3. Jerome, that's a paper score. If I look at that, Collegians really gave it, sometimes the score just doesn't tell you what the game is all about.
It's exactly, JP. If you look at the game, and it is not a real true reflection of the game.
Yeah.
Because Collegians never gave up. There was a couple of opportunities again in the second half which they should have scored.
Yeah.
Scores could have looked different, but heads off to Helderberg. The difference is, as I say, it's the same in the continue in the second half. Is Helderberg, if the ball bounce, it bounce right for them. They take the ball and they go score.
Yeah.
Collegians, the bounce of the ball, it doesn't get into their hands, so they don't get points. And that's why the score looked like that. But heads off to Helderberg for getting that big score.
Yeah, we're going to take a look at the logs. But Faisal, I suppose that's the nice thing about being able to show it on TV, because normally you just see it on paper and you think, oh, big. But then you see the TV game, you think, hang on, but they were all over them.
No, definitely. I think what Jerome mentioned is key in that there. Like you said, look at the result, you think, it's one-sided, Collegians are outplayed. And but I mean, looking at the clips, the one thing, with Collegians is you're going to have to play for 80 minutes. And, there again, it showed. Even though that score line shows a different story, you saw up until the end, Collegians always had a fight in them.
Right, folks. Well, of course, as you know, MChem 24-Hour Pharmacy. MChem 24-Hour Pharmacy. You can see it behind me there. Faisal and Jerome, on the corner of N1 and Durban Road, as you know. Folks, you should probably know by now, of course, MChem's, of course, open 24/7. A lot of different zones at MChem. But one of the zones that you need to know about it, and I suppose, folks, from a rugby point of view, of course, you'll know this as well, is the orthopedic and surgical zone at MChem. It's downstairs, wide variety of products. If you go there, you'll see all the straps and the wrappings and the boots and the support for the orthopedic support products that you need. Now, they've got Sister Miriam there, of course, able to give you the very best advice. So important that you have the right type of product when it comes to those rehabilitation type of products, and of course recovery, but not only that, also injury prevention. There's a lot of players and athletes that use strapping, for example, or certain guards in their training, and like I said, that also ties into the recovery side of things, maybe post-surgery or while you're busy with your physiotherapy. But orthopedic and surgical products at MChem 24-hour pharmacy. Now, Sister Miriam is there at MChem. She can give you the very best of advice. And it's really important that you do get the right advice, because if you think about it, you know, if you could be wearing the wrong type of strapping or guard that maybe doesn't fit correctly or doesn't perhaps offer the right type of support structure. And this could either slow down your recovery or maybe even lead to further injury. So important that you get the right advice. So MChem Surgical and Orthopedic Zone is there for you. You go speak to Sister Miriam. They'll give you the best advice. They've got the best products. And by the way, of course, as you know, if they don't have the product for you, they'll make sure that they get it. Folks, we'll take a break. When we come back, we'll carry on talking club rugby. Back in a sec. Do not go away. Right, welcome back, folks. Just before the break, we took a look at the matches, at least between Northerns and Van der Stel, as well as Helderberg and Collegians. Still a number of games on the cards for you this evening, including All Saints and Vineyards, which we're going to look at shortly. Hamilton's and NTK, as well as Durbal and Hamlets. And we'll, of course, take a look at the logs and results and fixtures. And we'll also take a look at the SK game as well. But let's take a look now. All Saints up against Vineyards. The following features brought to you by Score Energy Drinks, MChem 24-hour Pharmacy, and Thorburn Security Solutions. This feature was brought to you by MChem 24-hour Pharmacy, Score Energy Drinks, and Thorburn Security Solutions. Right, folks, Hamilton's, at least Hamilton's, so we've got so many games to look at. Vineyards against All Saints. Jerome, your thoughts there on the first half?
No, this is different than the other games that we see. It's competitive, and you can see both teams are like one team scored and the other team score, and good structure and the way they play. Good defense from both teams, but it's pretty even. It's like you can see like it can go to any team can win this game.
Faisal, just one of the things that jumps out for me is the amount of fans. Everybody's watching this game. I mean, I see the field is also looking quite fancy. The players are looking great in their kit. There's a little dugout there for the reserves now as well.
No, definitely. I think I had a chat with Jerome early on, and you know, we were saying, you know, from past experiences and that as well, the Super League B is a very evenly matched league and competition. A lot of them have been playing there for some, you know, for some time. And what you find is in Super League B, there's always derbies.
Yeah.
Every week is a game.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of money to be made in Super League B. I think if you look at, you know, the field of fans, you know, every week, you know, it's unpredictable. The fans are out there to support their team. So yeah, you know, hats off to All Saints. I think this season they're doing very well. You can see the structures not only on the field but also off the field.
Yeah. Well, we've got the momentum now, and we've got the gears, we've got the content, we've got the activities, we've got the stories, the logs, the results, the fixtures. It's all there. But we don't know the final result of this match. All Saints against Vineyards. Keep watching. The following feature is brought to you by Score Energy Drinks, MChem 24-hour Pharmacy, and Thorburn Security Solutions. This feature was brought to you by MChem 24-hour Pharmacy, Score Energy Drinks, and Thorburn Security Solutions. Welcome back, folks. We're busy chatting here on the side. It's always the best time to be chatting. But, right, so final score then, All Saints 25-22 over Vineyards. Jerome, close game.
Yeah, close game. Like I said, the first half, it could have gone anywhere, but up until the end, I mean, 3 points difference.
Yeah.
Heads off to both teams, but it seems like Faisal was saying, it seems like I've been watching the results. All Saints are really doing well this season.
Well, let's take a look at the logs and we can see where we're standing in Super League B. Helderberg, of course, sitting on the top of the pile, still at number 1. They're the only team that is unbeaten in Super League B. Then it's Hands and Hearts, All Saints St. George's, Belhar, and Jerome. Well, there you see Belleville is of course sitting at number 6 on the log, and they're going to want to protect that position. Because, well, they've got a bit of a margin there between Belleville and Young Peoples and Lunga. So they are in a bit of a safe zone. But, you know, you, of course, can't go to sleep. There's still 3 games left for them.
Yeah, I don't know. I think Faisal will know better. But it's like you say, if Belleville can stay 6 or maybe win a game and go to 5. But it looks like they're safe, Faisal. I don't know.
No, Topi, if you're looking at the logs, it's very close. I think if you look at this weekend, you know, a win for Belleville would have pushed them up 2 positions. But I think also what's interesting to look at the log is that, you know, as much as you've got the top 3, there's also Belhar that's got some outstanding games that need to be played, which might throw that whole complete log, you know, off balance in that. So if you look at 7, you've got 26 with 12 games. So yes, Belleville is, you know, sort of, you know, in a good position to be, but also at the same time, there's still a couple of games that they still need to win in terms of cementing their place.
Yeah, so you're of course talking about Young Peoples that's currently sitting at number 7, who are on 26 points on the log. They've got 2 games left. That's a very, very tight margin. They would need bonus points and wins from both games and then hope that that everything doesn't go in their favour for team number 6, which is of course Bellville.
No, I think JP, looking at it, we're looking at top 6, but what's also interesting is if you look at, the bottom half as well.
Yeah.
Anything can happen there. You've got 2 teams on 11 points, so that 5 at the bottom there is pretty much close. This week when we saw, the win against Busy Bees was key, and it was crucial for Primroses, which automatically elevated them in terms of, being close proximity there. So the next, 3 weeks is going to be key and crucial for a lot of these teams, because it either determines whether they survive or whether they're going to go down.
Well, Primrose at least still has that. Primrose has got quite a few games in hand. Goodwood, well...
if you look at JP, if you look at Collegians also, I mean, you don't go to Collegians and they've got a few games in hand.
Well, that's interesting. We
so
didn't see that.
You can still, so you still have to.
100%. I think, the key thing is who the opposition and who the remaining games. And if you look at the games remaining in that, there's still a lot of tough games ahead. And, I think you don't want to be sitting in a position where the other teams are going to determine where you finish off or where you are. So if you look at Primroses, they still got a good chance. I think they're in a position where they determine, whether, they're going to be successful or whether it means, going down.
Right. It's going to be very interesting, folks. So make sure that you keep watching. We'll keep keeping you in the loop. And if you look at that performance there, the Collegians just put in against All Saints, where All Saints, of course, number 3 on the log, and they only lost by a 2-point margin. Well, I certainly think we're still going to see some movement in Super League B's logs before we get to the top 6. We'll take a break. When we come back, we'll take a look at the match between Hamiltons and NTK. Back in a sec. Don't go away. Right, welcome back, folks. You're watching Cape Rugby TV. You're on Cape Town TV, DSTV channel 263. Just a reminder, you can win yourself a case of Score energy drinks. Go to our Facebook page, www.facebook.com/Cape Rugby TV. Enter the Score competition. We're going to take a look at that just now. We're going to give my 2 colleagues here, Jerome and Faz, an opportunity to spot the ball, but we will not give them an opportunity to win the case of Score. That is unfortunately, they get 1 per show. 1 per show, that's all you get, Jerome.
Yeah, thanks, JP.
All right. All right, folks, just before we break, or at least before we look at the match between Hamiltons and NTK, just big thanks to all of the clubs that have sent in their footage for us to put you on TV, and of course to Andrew Lowe in the Helderberg area who sent us the All Saints versus Vineyards game. But let's take a look now. Hamiltons were up against NTK. The following feature is brought to you by Score Energy Drinks, MChem 24-hour Pharmacy, and Thorburn Security Solutions. This feature was brought to you by MChem 24-hour Pharmacy, Score Energy Drinks, and Thorburn Security Solutions. All right, welcome back. Jerome, Hamilton's leading 22 points to 3 there in the second half. I mean, NTK beat Brackenfell just the other day. Your thoughts?
No, it's again, JP, it's again the score, like that halftime score. It doesn't look good, but NNK, they never gave up.
Yeah.
And there were also a couple of times where they could have scored. The difference again, like we see if there's a line break, Hamilton's go score. So the difference between, I think it's more the belief in, obviously Hamilton's go there, and NNK players maybe think, look, Hamilton's must win. But they were competitive, and the scores, it doesn't look good, but it's just sad that it is that way.
Well, let's see what happens now in the second half, because Jerome said earlier on, we've already had one bounce back on this weekend. So Hamilton leading going into the first half, leading 22 points to 3. Let's see if NTK bounce back. The following features brought to you by Score Energy Drinks, MChem 24-hour Pharmacy, and Thorburn Security Solutions. This feature was brought to you by MChem 24-hour Pharmacy, Score Energy Drinks, and Thorburn Security Solutions. Right, welcome back. Right, so Hamilton's walking away with a win there then. NTK not bouncing back. But Jerome, I know you've got a lot to say about this game.
Yeah, no, JP.
Any positive things now?
No, the positive is that both teams want to run with the ball. You can see they run with the ball, but the defense from both sides were bad. You look at the amount of line breaks that NNK had against Hamilton's, and in Hamilton's, it seems like they went into this game, we're not going to worry about defense, we're just going to attack. And that is how this game, the whole game went like this, because then Hamilton's go score 2 tries. Then NNK decided, no, we're going to keep the ball and we're going to go score, and then they go score. But again,
we're going to take a look at the logs in a second. Faisal, but Super League A, I mean, at the level that you're talking about there, you got all your top teams. It's the little things that count. You can't make the little mistakes because the other team's going to punish you.
No, definitely. I think Jerome's not holding back there. But I think I want to latch onto that as well. I think, it's about, we chatted earlier on about it, and I think, it's about every team coming there and, believing that on the day you can win that game. And it just seemed as if, we were just going through the motion, in terms of what needs to be in place. And I think that's a lot of the times where, your captain, your coaches need to take charge and, settling everything down and put a bit more structure in that in terms of the play and that. So, I think it's something to learn from. And I think, the positives out of this is that, you need to go forward. We can't be, there's 3 or 4 games left. I know this weekend, Hamilton's is playing against False Bay. and you're going to be tested. And there's certain games where, you practice and you put stuff in place. And like Jerome says, you can't drop your guard.
Folks, of course, as you know, every week you can win yourself a case of Score energy drinks. This is, of course, on our Facebook page, Cape Rugby TV. Just go and do a search for us if you can't find us. And we're giving you a chance to spot the ball and see if you could win yourself a case of Score energy drinks. Right, so A1, A2, A3, B1, B2, B3, C1, C2, and C3. And, of course, big thanks to Zahida Polis, who, again, sent us this fantastic picture. Jerome Parvater, would you like to give it a go, sir?
I'll go A3.
You're going to go A3. You guys can actually see on the front monitor over there.
Yeah.
Faisal Felton, would you like to give it a go? A1, A2, A3, B1, B2, B3?
This is a difficult one. My heart,
I'm going to give you a clue.
A2. I'll go with A2.
You're going to go with A2. You don't want to revise it. Well, I'm going to give you a clue, all right? Yeah. The ball's never where you think it's going to be. All right, folks. I'm also going to go with A2 on this one. So, Faisal, I'm going to trust your judgment. We're going to go with A2. Jerome, what did you say?
I can't remember.
A3.
Did he say
I
A3?
said A3, but I'm going to go.
Changing.
Can I change to B2?
Jerome's going to go with B2. All right, folks. Well, there you go. It's in B3. B3. All right. Yeah, we never. You never know. We never know. Some sneaky editing there. Right, folks. And congratulations to Ines Felix. Ines, you are this week's winner of a case of Score energy drinks. We'll be in touch with you on Facebook Messenger, and you can come and collect your case of Score. And you see all the Score rugby jerseys behind me there. Folks, we'll take a break. When we come back from the break, we're still going to take a look at the highlights of Durbal up against Hamlets. We'll take a look at some short clips between SK Warmers and False Bay, and then we'll, of course, take a look at the fixtures coming up this weekend. Be back in a sec. Don't go away. You're watching Cape Rugby TV. You're on Cape Town TV. In studio with me, Jerome Parvater, Faisal Felton, Western Province Rugby. Jerome, other than all the scores and the results and that, I mean, do you feel like we're just back to where we were 2 years ago, talking club rugby again?
Yeah, it's very good, JP, and it's nice, and also going out to the games and see the crowd and see the people. So that's very good to see that. And
Faisal, for you guys, from an admin point of view, we had the Promotion League draw last week. The last time we did a draw like that, of course, was similar to that, the Score Sevens. I know 2 years was 2 years of inoperable structures with regards to sport not being allowed and COVID regulations and that. But looking at this now, I really feel like it was almost like yesterday that we were looking at the results from Newlands, where it was the playoffs, and we're kind of looking at things like the trophy awards, and we're back to usual.
Yeah, I think you hit the nail on the head. It seems as if everything's back to normal in terms of how things should pan out. The phase where we are now at the moment, where we sort of rearing up to that championship league. It seems as if, the last 2 years, it wasn't there. But at the same time has flown. Yeah. But, we're back to normal. And back to normal. So exciting times.
Folks, so in Super League A, Durbal were up against Hamlets. We managed to show you some of the highlights. The following features brought to you by Score Energy Drinks, MChem 24-Hour Pharmacy, and Thorburn Security Solutions. The following feature is brought to you by Score Energy Drinks, MChem 24-hour Pharmacy and Thorburn Security Solutions. Jerome, but of course, as we said, Hamlets will now be thinking, if we look at the log, they're sitting at number 13 at the log at the moment. Hamlets will be knowing that they've got to pull through those last couple of games if they want to stay away from the bottom, that dangerous position 13.
Yeah, look, you know, Hamlets can surprise teams. There was a result which they beat a team.
It was close.
No, but they beat a big team.
Yeah.
So they can, JP, they can cause an upset, especially if you go to Hamlets. Or on the day, even if they go play away, they can play rugby. So they must just, like we said, they must just believe and trust that they're not going to go down because they work hard to get up to Super A.
Folks, one of the other games we took a look at was some of the highlights, just to make sure that you are enjoying all the club rugby in the same way that we are. False Bay up against SK Warmers. Let's take a look at some of the short action clips there. The following feature is brought to you by Score Energy Drinks, MChem 24-hour Pharmacy and Thorburn Security Solutions. This feature was brought to you by MChem 24-hour Pharmacy, Score Energy Drinks, and Thorburn Security Solutions. So a similar story there, Jerome. SK Warmers, of course, they've got a lot of games still in hand. They've only played 8 games. In terms of, as Faisal said, it's all about strategy at the moment.
Yeah, it is. And if you look at SK, the quality players that they have, JP, so it's also for them in the experience that they have. I think the sort of the experienced guys must now really put their hands up and help the youngsters. But they have a quality side, so they can compete. We know over the years they did well in this league. So where they are now, it's bad, but they need to step up now.
Right, so let's take a look then at the fixtures coming up in Super League A this weekend. Brackenfell up against UWC, UCT and Durbal, Unimol up against Tygerberg, SK Warmers take on Marties, False Bay, Hamiltons, and of course SK Warmers and NTK. Jerome, the obvious question that people are asking here is, Stellenbosch is back, Marties is back, they're sitting a little bit lower on the log, they've got a lot of games in hand. Do you think that we're going to see a bit of a challenge from these teams that have just come out of Varsity Cup, they've come out of the USA tournaments? Is this going to be a threat? Does
yes,
it matter?
I think look with Marties, obviously, I mean they won the USA tournament, so they took that to prepare for the league that they're coming in now. So so I think they're going to be a force. It's not going to be easy competing against them. They're youngsters, they're fit and they're ready, but it's good. It's I mean a lot of teams want to play against them. It's going to be tough, but they want to play against them to measure themselves.
Folks, let's go straight now into the fixtures coming up this weekend in Super League B. All Saints will be up against Helderberg. St. George's take on Collegians, Langan Franschhoek, Vineyards and Scottsdene, Hansen Arts and Belhar, Primrose up against Belleville. Jerome, there are some monster games here. It's going to be an absolute cracker this weekend. Every team that we spoke about, I mean, if we just look at the lineup here, All Saints and Helderberg, derby match.
Yeah,
they are neighbours. This is going to be a monster weekend. St. George's and Collegians. St. George's just came beating Belleville. Collegians with that narrow margin over All Saints. Langan Franschhoek, we know how tough that's going to be. Vineyards and Scottsdene. Hansen Hearts and Belhar. Those two teams are sitting at number 2 and 3 on the log, I think. There's going to be a big challenge. And, of course, Primrose and Belleville.
Yep.
Faisal, I mean, these are monster games this weekend.
JP, Hansen Arts Belhar, I think that, that for me is the game of the week.
Yeah.
As much as, All Saints Helderberg, that's a massive derby. So, I think it's going to be a tough decision as to which games you're going to go out and watch.
Fixtures coming up this weekend. Macassar take on Albion, CPUT and Rangers, Blue Stars and Strand United, Eps30 up against Elsies, Blue Jets and Kylamore, Morningstar, Wraithby. In the Promotion League, folks, we saw Blakes with a win over Masipumalele. Northerns went down to Van der Stel. Fixtures in the Promotion League this weekend is Blakes and Northerns, Masipumalele and Solorians, Lagunya and Atlantis. And in the Paarl region, well, some big results there as well. Young Standards 58-0 over Violet's Paarl. Riverstones went down to Paarl Rangers. Lower Paarl went down to Young Gardens. And Parel United, well, they went down to Simondium. All right, folks, so let's take a look at the Paarl region fixtures coming up in this weekend. Paarl Rangers up against Violet's Paarl. Simondium go against Young Gardens, Young Standards and Lower Paarl. And Parel United take on Riverstones. Faisal, you must be super excited about the fact that the Women's League has started again.
No, definitely, JP. I think, it's something new in the sense of, the starting of the Women's League. I think we've now completed the IPL. We went from 7s to 10s. Then we had the IPL. So now for us, it'll be good to see a lot of those provincial players have been released and now playing club rugby. So Women's League starting from now till around about end of October, which makes it exciting. I think, there is now basically strength versus strength in terms of the availability of players.
Brackenfell, a women's side beating Busy Bees, 24 points to 12. And then Blue Jets beating CPUT. Kales River went down to False Bay, and of course Tygerberg beating Eps30. So we've already got our first log on for the Women's League. So we can take a look at that, but it's only one match. So give you a quick idea of what it looks like so far. Tygerberg, False Bay, Blue Jets, Brackenfell, Marty's, Busy Bees, CPUT, Kales River, Eps30, and of course Riverside. Fixtures coming up for the Women's League this weekend sees False Bay up against Marty's. That's going to be a big game. Busy Bees and Tygerberg, Riverside and Brackenfell, and Eps30 and Kales River. Jerome, you've been very involved with women's rugby in the last 2 years, helping with the high performance coaching course, which is exclusively for the development of women's rugby. Looking at the matches over the last weekend and the matches coming up, you must also be very thrilled that the coaching skills is starting to come through the ranks.
Yeah, it's good, JP, and it's also good for the ladies who came out to do their level 1 and level 2 coaching courses with us. So it's good for them to coach and to play in the league.
Faisal, thanks. We'll leave it at that. Looking forward to rugby this weekend.
Yeah, definitely, JP.
Jerome, and same to you. I know you're going to probably go visit club to club again. You watch the first 10 minutes and then another 10 minutes.
If I'm going to watch 2 games again, JP, yeah.
Right, folks, fantastic having you along and really great stuff talking club rugby again. We will see you again next week, same time, same place. A fantastic rugby weekend. Bye-bye.